Heard you in the rain. Will you always be there? The last thing you said. Sorry if it's too late. Heard you in the rain. Will you always be there? The last thing you said. Sorry if it's too late. Don't wanna be the only fighter in this battle of the sand. I don't wanna be.
G'day. G'day guys, welcome to Rumble's Fish Room. So, gonna have a sip of my cuppa. How is everyone? What side of my face is like? I didn't do a very good job at closing the curtains. I'm a little bit confused. So this side looks shadowy, but that's the side with the sun beaming in my face. This old YouTuber thing is quite difficult. But that's alright, you get to see my elegant half. I'm still chesty. You'll have to deal with that. I'm still headachy. Wake up with some killer headaches. But headache and chest, lethargic no more. Fear no fear, the 10 mil is here. I'm not sure if I made reference to that last week, but it's still here. So, we were talking about cleaning the shed in yesterday's video, and Chevy commented on the video saying that his wife cleans the shed. So the last couple of times my wife has cleaned my shed for me. I think I've actually talked about it in videos. I'm trying to ask her not to this time. She is threatening to, but I think I want to clean it and then I suffer the consequence, and then maybe I might respect it a bit more. Silly thing, I know. Anyway, g'day Chevy. Obviously you're here as well as commenting on old videos. Old, it's not that old, it's like 12 hours old. Craig, how are you? Always here. G-Snap. Hooked on Fish, Jesse, how are you? It's because I've had a stroke. No, I haven't. I really haven't. G'day John, how are you? You know what I need to learn? I need to learn how to manicure facial hair. So this is the longest I've ever let my facial hair get, and I want to like keep it trim. So like the problem is, see how I don't grow hair here, and that's real spindly there. So that's like my reason for never growing beard. I've had some killer moustaches, like, but I've only ever tried to grow a moustache. And like, see, I don't get hair there, and then which side is it? There. See that bald patch? that's where I had a car accident. Anyway, that's my facial hair. Get a skip bin in. How much is the skip bin? Nah, cause I've got like, what? I got fresh tip passes only a month ago. I don't know. I don't mind going to the tip. It's literally like 3 minutes from my work, so I hate the unloading part, but actually driving there isn't bad because I just can go after work. Chevy, you've got mates that haven't been the same since. I don't want to call it that. I really don't. But the proof is in the pudding. You guys have seen me vlog for like 3 years maybe. How many days did I miss to illness in the years prior to these vaccines? I think a couple of you will be able to attest to that. I can count the number of times I've had a cold on one hand in the last 20 years. And yeah, anyway, I'm not going to beat on about it, but whether it's because of that, because of the vid itself, or because we were in isolation and our immune systems collapsed, I think maybe one of those, maybe two of those, maybe three of those. But I definitely think immune system being low because we were isolated, 100%. Like, you don't see like somebody who's never been to the gym rock up to a heavyweight title and fight. Like your good antibodies in your body haven't been to the gym while we were in isolation. Only Oscar says, I don't try grow a beard, it does it on its own. Yeah, so obviously Chevy's a long time watcher and watched probably most of my videos, so I think he would definitely attest to the way I've been feeling. And I don't really think about that. Like, I think my vlog is me recording about fish, about motorsports, and about fun stuff, but with that unconsciously, my health is kind of recorded on the channel, isn't it? Interesting. Who have I missed? G'day Anonymous, how are you? The chat's on fire. This is the biggest chat we've had since maybe, I don't know, since I had that big break. Need to scroll up a bit. Blake lives in Victoria. You've had the 4th dose. Interesting. Is that work related? So, this time of illness, we had about 8 close contacts on the weekend, and then like 4 days later the missus was sick, and then 6 days later I was sick, and we both tested negative for these first couple of days, and then we ran out of tests, and like at that point it was like, I'm not spending $50 just to say that I've got a red line on a stick. My mum did offer to bring me some tests, but I was like, it's not even worth the 40-minute drive. Oh, still yet to get it. One of the guys at work, he hasn't had the vaccines at all, and his 2 kids and his wife got it, and he didn't. I don't know. I honestly just think that I've been getting sick because of the isolation. And like also, I don't, maybe a little bit from the young fella being in daycare, but I reckon that would only be like 50%, if not less. Because I've definitely been sick before him a couple of times. But anyway, that's enough about being sick. I feel pretty good. Collaboration. How is everyone? Instead of... No, alright. So how is everyone? And if you're sick, tell me something else that's not about the sickness. Yeah. Snot-nosed kid at my ankles. So what I heard about daycare, Bart, is if your kid's in daycare, when they go to school, they're troopers, and then the kids that were never in daycare are the real sick ones. Yeah, at the start of school. I'm hoping that's the case. What about Fish? Fish gets sick a little bit. I think Richard. I don't know if Richard's sick or not. He's like hiding, but he doesn't look sick. I don't know if he's just being a sook. So, I actually got... Blake agrees with that statement. He's got 2 kids that are in school, so maybe it's true. I'm going for a leisurely drive tomorrow to a fellow flower horn breeders, an old time breeder that just happened to do a batch. He was out of flower horns and then did a batch. And anyway, his fish are at the age of culling, and he actually invited me down for one of his culls. And although it might seem like I know a lot about flower horns, I'm still very novice when it comes to culling at a young age, so I'm excited to learn. I'm not taking the camera. I probably won't even talk about it in videos. I might do, who knows. But I'm just going to learn tomorrow. I actually got asked to work. That's how this came about. Someone said they're working all day tomorrow. Collaboration said working all day tomorrow. So my work was like, you're working, and I said, well, no, I've made plans. Sorry, I can't agree. My kids know. Oh, you got to be careful about commenting about. Like, I swear, blokes are like, yep, daycare, no daycare, doesn't matter. Women are like, oh, your kid's in daycare, that's bad. And then the other women are like, oh, your kids aren't in daycare, that's bad. I shouldn't really be sexist on the channel, should I? Is that sexist? Because I've heard a few bickers about, between women about daycare and not daycare. I don't know. What new fish have I got? None. The blue bolt guppies are doing really well. So really nervous actually. So I got the blue bolt guppies and then the red guppies in that tank. Like I put the blue bolt guppies in, and that night I noticed I didn't put any water in. I only put the blue guppies. And then I noticed 3 of the really low quality red guppies were dead at the back of the tank. And I was like, what the hell? And it was the 3 that night. None have died since, which is great. And then I was stressing, do I take the blue guppies out of the tank? But like, I didn't want to stress them out anymore. The only thing I can think of is, obviously I sucked the gravel out and changed it to the soil like 3 days before I got the blue guppies, because I was trying to make it a better environment for them. But I don't know. I don't think it was. I didn't test the water, I will be honest. But I don't think it would be an ammonia spike, because it was expired aqua soil, and I gave it like a really good wash, so I only got like the solid balls. I didn't get the powder, and I only dropped like 3 handfuls in. But it could have been ammonia, don't get me wrong. Oh no, Chevy, I didn't expect you to be judgy. I honestly knew exactly how you were coming across, and I just thought it was funny that another gender might take that the wrong way. Anonymous says facts. I can definitely see advantages and disadvantages. Obviously, it's just like fish. You put like a community of fish together, they learn to get along. And like, if you isolate one fish and then try to introduce it into a community, it might be angry and not be friends. Is that like? I feel like that's a fish keeper's analogy. I can actually. So, as dumb as it sounds, it might sound really dumb, but you might agree. I can actually relate a lot of the fish interaction and personality to like humans that I know or have met. And like, I just feel like that particular fish is somebody I used to know in a previous life, but like current. That, you get what I mean, kinda. Some parents don't even parent. Raising a baby is harder than raising fish, also, if you were wondering. Can confirm. I meant to be like sipping my coffee during the live. Next thing I'm like basically sculling it. Silly. I was messaging Craig. I think he's here. He said he was going to go live, and then he realised it was Friday. So I'm going to go subscribe to Craig's channel, and we're going to catch one of his lives. Maybe I reckon one Friday, if he's having a late one, we'll send a Rumble hashtag to raid to his live stream. I feel like, speaking of 2, I feel like 2 is a necessity. I'm not keen on 3, but by the millions. You know how I said I was vacuuming the substrate out of the VHAR tank, and I was going to do it bit by bit each day. I did my typical fashion, and I went balls to the wall, and I vacuumed it all out today. So it's ready for gravel. I don't really know what do you guys think? Like, obviously I'm a bare bottom tank kind of guy. Do you think with VHAR, like, obviously if I go pool filter sand, it's gonna always have shit sitting on top of it. I feel like if I go a coarser white gravel, that it will look cleaner. I'm sure you guys are probably more familiar with the cross comparison of coarse gravel versus coarse sand. But yeah, I need to make that decision. G'day Steve, how are ya? Oh yeah, Chevy's gonna follow Craig, that's cool. Working full time is tough, like, I don't know. Part of me thinks like working full time's hard because I don't see the kid for a fair few hours, but it also part of me thinks that I cherish the time I have with him more. I don't know. What fish has everyone got? Has anybody bought new fish? The problem if I ask you a question about fish is the delay in the chat makes for awkward silences. John's always got new fish. What do you got, John? Oh, John planted out a new tank. I don't know if I'll show it on the screen, but maybe if I look at it. Oh, Jesse from Hooked on Fish is looking for someone. Did you find him? And the plan was... Oh, one of you will know, unless you found him already. But does anybody know Eddie? He comes into the streams and comments quite often. Jesse's trying to get a hold of him, but can't. What am I looking for? John's new tank. Look at this. Look where he lives. Bloody 41 degrees. What time is it? 2:30 in the afternoon. Oh. This photo. These are the blue guppies that I got. Yeah, nice guppies, you know. I'm gonna show it on the screen, John. Sorry, mate. Rainbow disaster. Why is it a disaster? Are you talking about a different tank? Because I see angels, not rainbows. I miss having a planted tank. Man, you gotta tilt the phone like the opposite direction to like what you would imagine. I give up. There we go. That way. Looks pretty cool. That's the substrate I want, actually. Can you just give it to me? Da 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 da. Oh, is that what I wanted? Oh, you're creating a list for toga. So what's the go? Is toga legal in other places in Australia? Is that how it works? Course is better. Three new platinum angels. I'd love to like line breed blue is it blue platinums? Maybe. Blake and Bodgy got new fish together, that's cool. Blake always gets fish that I've never heard of, which is interesting, because I feel like I know a lot of fish. So I only learned, I think I told everyone, but I only learnt like a week ago that Saratogas are illegal in WA. And that's funny because then I found out what date they were made illegal, and I had bought one post that date. No, hang on, I don't say that on YouTube. Nah, I didn't. I'm only joking. 6 new caves. Man, some of those L numbers, you got to put like 6 different types of caves in, hey, and see which one they like. John had an ammonia spike. That's not good. John says that's pool filter sand. Yeah, so pool filter sand is quite coarse, hey? I'm saying it like I'm asking, but I'm saying because that's what's in the what's the tank called? The Tanganyikan tank, that's the word. So are you doing a bit of a cheeky cycle with the angelfish there, John? Say what? We heard nothing. Anonymous ditched another tank. I gotta ditch some tanks. I gotta do the Stingray tank. Maybe I should do that over Christmas. The problem will be getting the fiberglass supplies during the break. Is something that I should really prepare to do prior to the actual doing. You lost your mojo. It happens. It definitely happens. Comes and goes. I think I've got 60% of my mojo at the moment. And the only thing that's keeping me going is flowerhorn fry. When I've got those little fry that need feeding twice a day, it keeps me in the fish room and it makes me late for work. and I don't know, I feel like if you surround yourself by something and you're doing it for at least 10 minutes a day, that's what's up in your life, you know? Bunnings Play Sound, oh my god, ammonia pockets, that's what that gives you. Oh. Jesse wants flowerhorn for the website. It's a tough one. I feel like retail flowerhorns is a tough one. It depends if you can go to the effort of showing parent and the actual fish photos, or whether you're going to have generic photos on the website. The angel's in there just so you don't have to look at an empty tank. I'm interested to see your thoughts on discus, John. Have you had them before? So, obviously it's summer. I probably don't need to, but I kind of need to think about getting a new heater for the tank in the house if I keep it. Or the other option, sell some fish out of the fish room so I can move the Viha in the fish room and then have no tank in the house. Alright, so you'd want flowerhorns with legit photos and update and edited. I think that's what that means. I wonder, Yeah, it'd be interesting. So, obviously, flower horns sell via name. Like, no beating around the bush, 100% honesty. If I put my name on a flower horn for $200 and Joe Blogs that's never been in the fish community before advertises the same fish for $150, that I won't say expert breeder, but a novice breeder or a novice person that wants to display fish would rather pay the 200 off me than the 150 off the other person for the same fish. But in saying that, like, it's not like my reputation came free. Like, I've tried really hard to. I've actually changed my personality to run YouTube, and not in a bad way or like someone who I'm not, but I don't know if anybody remembers me before YouTube on Facebook pages. I was the most smart ass young fella you've ever met. I knew everything and wasn't willing to learn, and I decided to turn a leaf when I started YouTube because I knew that people look like dicks when they're dicks on YouTube. I guess some of you might still think that. I don't really remember what the point was. Oh yeah, anyway. So I had this discussion with somebody. Basically, he was breeding flower horns, but he didn't want anybody to know who he was. He didn't want the limelight. He was trying to breed and keep under the radar. And then he was actually selling higher quality flower horns than me at the time. And he was getting frustrated because they weren't selling for such a cheap price. And I just said exactly what I just told you guys. I'm not going to beat around the bush and like pretend that it's not true. And he got so like, it's one of the, we don't talk now, and that's one of the reasons. I don't know. Is it? I don't know if it's racist to say what origin my buyers are from. Like, obviously, if you go into YouTube analytics, I can tell you what country watches my video most, and that's not racist. So I don't think it's racist to tell you the region of the buyers of the flower horns. So basically, what I'll say is 90% of the flower horns I sell as display fish, maybe even 95%, are to Asians, and the other 5% that is people looking to breed. Like, it's very rare that a non-Asian buys a display flower horn. But I don't think anything of it. I think that I don't know the full story behind it, but I think like the Thai keep them as like a good luck thing, or some sort of feng shui thing or something. Is that feng shui? I don't even know what that means. Isn't that's like having good energy from the front to the back of your house or something? Oh, I don't know. G'day, Amateur Aquatics. How are you? What have you come across here? We're talking about fish selling analytics. I think if we use words like analytics, it's not the R word. Chevy bringing up the political comments today. It doesn't matter. I think it's all interesting. So one thing I will say about race and age as well. Well, if you go to a fish auction, there is absolutely no discrimination to any age, to any gender, to any race. It's like the most communal, mixed bag you'll ever see. When it's an auction, and it's not just flower horns. It's like you got plants, you got community fish, you've got fish that shouldn't be in the auction. You've got rocks, you've got raffles. It's the biggest community, and there's some characters, and it's just a great time. Did John say who is John been chatting to? John. Who's DT? Ah, yes, now I understand. Talking about discus sellers. Yeah, so John was messaging me about who to get discus from, and yeah, I definitely, I'm not full bottle on the subject, so if one of you is, definitely get in contact with him and lead him in the right direction. That's what I want to say. I think with discus, but it depends. My personal experience, 5 centimetre, little ones, doesn't matter if you get them from the best breeder from bloody Switzerland. No, where's the best ones? Germany? No. What? I've got a mental blank. Where do all of our imports come from? Is it Germany? Man, what an idiot. I don't even know where my fish come from. German. Yeah, German red Alunacara. Yeah. Anyway, so top breeder in Germany, you buy 5 centimetre discus off them. I personally feel like it's a 50-50 chance whether they'll survive. But then if you go to 8 to 10 centimetres, 95% survival. That's what I found. So, John, if you're going to buy discus, 8 to 10 centimetres, no smaller. I think. Anonymous says there isn't many community fish events around Melbourne. We haven't had an auction for like pre-COVID. I think maybe we had a swap meet once post-COVID, but that's it. Malaysia for discus. I feel bad. My discus came from Carlos. What's his living discus is the name of it. But I had a really, really long chat with Carlos, and he's a really good bloke. The trouble as an importer is the fact that everybody wants the cheap discus. So if you want the nicer discus, like you voice that to him, and he will accommodate to what your wants are. But he said he's being crippled by people selling extremely low quality for extremely cheap, and I can relate to that because it's happened with flower horns. Malaysia and Indonesia. Is Germany only for African cichlids? I always wondered why even like the wild caughts come from Germany, but I'm guessing it's just because their import laws are lighter, maybe, to like it's just too hard to ship from Africa to Australia. I'm sure Jesse knows the answer to that one. I used to be dead against wild caught fish, like don't keep them in an aquarium. And then I watched, is it Coral G Fish 2 something? Fish 2, Coral G Fish, Coral G 12? Coral G Fish something. I don't know, you know who I'm talking about. I watched his travelling to, is it South America? Yeah. And that other dude, I can't remember his name, but like they couldn't find fish in the rivers, and he was like literally in tears, crying, not crying, but like in tears, borderline crying, saying that all the fish are poisoned, and if we don't keep wild caught fish and breed them, they'll be gone forever. That's a good channel, that. It is quite interesting. It's so broad. The thing that got me, actually, so my wife watches it, and I'll zone in a bit when she's watching it, but like when the first time I actually sat down and watched his videos properly was when he did the flower horn tours. And yeah, they were talking, and I was just zoning out from the conversation and just like looking at the traits on the fish, and I was trying to like see what traits the breeders had, like, and their pairs, and like what they were pairing, and that was what I was trying to get out of those videos. Maybe I wish that there was more breeders in Perth, then I could like do some tours. I don't know many people that are breeding in Perth now. There's Zach from City Barn Malaga, he still breeds. There's a couple of people breeding stingrays that I know of. But like, I personally, I see a couple of familiar names on MeWe, like always advertising, but like I personally don't know them, and I think a lot of my mojo disappearing from fish is just not socializing about fish, which is a lot to do with Perth Cichlid Society not having events either. Like, it's all just a loophole. Just because I'm not surrounded by the hobby anymore. A lot have dropped off. What do you mean, Jesse? Of the live stream? I don't know. A lot of breeders have dropped off. Yeah, duh. Like, of course, the comment's going to relate to what I'm talking about. Obviously, I'm not talking about East Coast, because like half of the people in this chat breed, but like actually going into someone's fish room, swapping some fry, and then just talking shit for like 2 hours, getting home, getting in trouble from the wife because you were meant to be going for half an hour and you've been 3.5 hours. I haven't had that experience for a long time. And I'm pretty sure everybody in this chat can relate to that effing experience. I think one of the last ones would have been Jason from Perth Cichlids. Yeah. There was a guy in Mandurah, I think his name was Rob. That would have been around the same time. That would have been before. I think my last proper fish room chinwag that wasn't at my house would have been Jason from Perth Cichlids, and you guys know how long ago I got the white lips off him. Should I sell the white lips? Anyway, that's a subject for another day. Geez, that says has experienced that without the spouse. I'm trying to think of like what fish I bought. I went to the guy's house and got the Viha. I wasn't there for like ages. I guess it's the closest thing I've had to that, but I was still only there for 10 minutes. He was... English was his second language. It's not like we could just have a solid chin wag. But yeah. The other thing about the guy... So the guy got the Viha off. He was selling them as pures. I knew they weren't. Like, I was 70% sure they weren't. And then when I got them home, like, I'm 99% sure they're not pure. And then I found out that he was selling pure Argenta that were crossbred as well, which Argenta is a Viha that I don't think should be crossbred at all. Well, man, I'm digging myself a hole here, but I don't think that... I think that crossbreeding Viha is what's got us in this shitty situation where you can't get pures, but... I don't know, if I get like a shitty bloodline that I can throw into flower horns, I'll do it, but it's just so hard to like decide where I stand on this situation. Well, I know in my head where I stand. I don't, but like, how do I come across on video without sounding like I'm contradicting, like being a hypocrite? But anyway, the guy was selling Argenta, but they were crossbreeds, and obviously they chase a higher price. So when you're selling a high price fish as incorrectly labelled, anyway, basically the story is I didn't really feel like staying at the guy's house and having a full blown conversation. So back to the original point, who's breeding? I know Matt breeds a few fish. He's usually in the chat here, but he used to be driving home from work during the live streams, and I think maybe his work regime has changed because I haven't seen him in the chat driving home lately. Oh man. Good old phlegm. I might wrap it up soon, guys. I'm starting to block up. Obviously night time, you know, the block up gets worse. And I'm struggling. It's shit. Yeah, now I got asked to go to site tomorrow and work. It's not even my job anymore. I'm a drafter. So like, I'm so glad I had plans because I hate going to site. I don't know about you guys, but I hate like even if site's nearly finished. Answer me this: does anybody get like their hands go blistery and powdery, like the concrete dust, like the lime in the concrete dust? Even when a building site's like 99% complete, you still get those itchy, blistery hands. Anyway, yeah. One of the reasons... So, like, obviously when I took my new job, there's pros and cons. So, the two pros were I don't have to go to site anymore, and I get to work in air conditioning. Oh, and my wrists. I didn't want to hold drills anymore. That's why, like, you South Americans, almost no crossbreeding. That's interesting. I'd be interested to know some examples of what doesn't crossbreed. John says I could pop over and do a fish room tour. Man, I saw a photo of someone in Perth, and he's just got a tank with like, it looked like 6 or 7 pure black diamonds or extremely high percentage girls and like 2 males, and it was just like, imagine. No wonder the market is getting flooded with black diamonds. Sight is half the fun. Nah, I don't miss sight at all. I wouldn't mind. What are the... I said I was saying goodbye, but here we are. Where's the screen? There, that screen there. And then when I want to change the screen, we have to press transition. Is it... What my favourite angels, I think, is blue platinum. I don't know, maybe not. I had these angels, and they were this nice blue, and I never really idolized them as one of my nice fish, and then they look like that, not that fancy. They were blue without the barring, if I remember correctly. Like that. Not that finny. Like, not that good a quality, but like that blue. Bluefish are cool. Let's look on Gumtree. Did I spell angel or did I spell angle? 10 kilometers. We're not bloody gonna find fish 10 kilometers. I guess. Oh no, it's 24 kilometers. I'm not buying angel fish. Don't be silly. $4 each. Barge on. Wait. I'm not very good at this game. Nah, this was a dumb idea. Why are we even on Gumtree? So this is what I used to do. I used to do this every day. Back in the day, I would delete the word out after searching. No, not all categories. Anyway, on my phone, I had it saved as just fish search. I've done it on the live streams plenty of times, haven't I? I kind of want the yellowfoot rabbit snails, but they're so bloody expensive. I think that's what they're called, yellowfoot rabbit snails. Does that sound familiar to you guys? Neon blue acaras. I've still got a few of them. Did heaps of Korean tops for AA8 racing. I've been doing heaps of Korean the last few days. Drilled some holes in the wrong spot, cut some plugs, and then plugged the holes, then re-drilled them. Good fun. Blue ultimate angelfish. I'm holding Craig's phone while he's in the tank. In the fish tank? Excessive fish tank parts, $500. That's a bit of coin. What do we got? We've got a pump, a sump, a wave maker, Is that another wave maker or a pump? It'll tell me. Wave maker, pump, pump. It's a pump. I feel like these prices are a little bit, how you going? I feel like, is that used? If it's new, I guess that's a good price. A 3-foot sump, but $120. Does anybody think? I guess. I don't know. Don't put your full name on there. Now, like, put your full name and I'm like taking the piss out of you. People will know who you are. I'm not, I don't know. I think like, I always look for bargains and then you get the bargains and then you see like a standard price and you're like, tell them it's dreaming. Do you know what's funny? This person is advertising low grade red cherries and they're higher grade than the high grade red cherries that I got. I mean, no, I didn't buy red cherries. Red cherry guppies. So I feel like the prices for a lot of things start. The problem is people can't afford to live, and as soon as people can't afford to live, their hobbies go. Hobbies is the first thing you stop spending money on. I've been getting a few messages asking for axolotls. Are they really worth $30 each? 5 to 6 centimeter, I guess that's a good size. That's pretty cool. I feel like axolotl's one of those fish I've never even considered breeding, but it's like you see them all the time. There's a Saratoga. It's interesting. I feel like the fisheries have just got... That's nice. Rio Branco breeding pair. They're cool, and I love them. Their shape and everything, but they kind of lack a bit of colour, don't they? Not taking the piss out of those fish in particular, just like the breed itself. This... I can't believe this guy's still going. I just can't believe it. Some of these photos have to be at least 10 years old. That one there, 100%, that photo is at least 8 years old. 100% guarantee it. If you know that person, you know that person. There's a big story behind that person, like death threats. It's interesting. I've got voice recordings on my phone. It's pretty crazy. Here's breeding colonies. Is that someone breeding? Who's Glenn? Tell Glenn to be my friend. Glenn's got a flower horn. What's going on? Is Glenn a shop? What's the flower horn? That looks like my line mixed with Fat Boy line. Had a guess. I just go on Mark. I should just go on Gumtree and start messaging people like, "Do you want to be my friend?" uh, this person's claiming wild caught axolotls. Is that a thing? Is that the same person? It's Glenn. It's my new friend. S-grade cherry shrimp for $10 each when you can buy them from the other reputable breeders, triple S grade for $10 each. You're better off getting that. Adults for $8 each. Looks about the same grade. Sorry, I haven't been reading the chat. Hooked on Fish is about to run a special, but I don't know what fish he's referring to. True parrots is a rare fish these days. Wild type, not wild caught. There you go. Interesting. That's crazy. This person's asking $800 for a 3-way male. That 70% male that I got was only $300. He's destroying the girl. I kind of need to separate them somehow. Look, there's that angelfish ad. We could do this every week, because like this ad here, that's a week old almost. So like we could almost just get back. So that male they want $800 for an extra $400. You could get one of these bad boys. Look at that. That's a stunner. This is Steve. I don't think I've met Steve, but honestly my hat comes off to the bloke. From what I've seen, he's got the best rays getting around. Look at them. I don't know, you'll only think these are good if like you know how they develop, but it's pretty crazy. It says Tanganyikan cichlids and there's an electric yellow in the picture. I think maybe that's just bad placement of the order of the photos. Hey, so I had a thought. So, you know how I'm trying to breed Viha with Texas? What about, hear me out. What about if I breed the Flowerhorn Texas with a female Texas, and instead of going for the Flowerhorn hybrid, I go for the faded Texas? So the plan behind that would be breed it back to Texas, which strengthens the Texas look, but they would still carry the fader gene because the male that I used to crossbreed with had the fader gene. But the problem with that is I would have to grow them to a size without culling to see if they fade, and then it would be a spacely experiment. That's all the ads ever. Anyway, you get the idea. It'd be cool to get a faded Texas that looks. It'd be, I guess it'd be kind of like a red Texas hybrid, wouldn't it? I don't know. This person wants to sell everything. No separating. $500. 1, 2, 3. I would say like 10, 20, 40, 60. Like $150 being generous. What do you guys reckon? Oh, unless there's more in another page. No, that's just one. I guess I'm saying 150 for the hardware. I don't know what fish are in there. I need a whole extra fish room. Yeah, I know. It's a bit like that. And here's me trying to like make the room smaller. I think when I do the Stingray tank, I'm thinking about doing permanent dividers and making it 3 separate but one tank, and only using one bay for the odd Stingray and the giant gourami, and then I've got 2 bays to grow out flower horns and whatever I decide to fucking breed. Anyway, blue angels would be cool. Very rare breed of blue angels. Why are they rare? Because they're black and blue? I say that I don't want to buy blue angels, but I think if the right blue angels popped up, I would snap them up. But anyway guys, I'm going to end the stream because that's what we do at this time of day. What, 6:06? I'm out. I've got to say goodnight to the young fella. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I appreciate you all for being here. It's honestly the people that come back weekly that keep me interested in doing live streams. Like, I know I've mentioned it 100 times, live streams aren't my strongest suit, and I always think about not doing them, and you guys keep me going, so I appreciate that. Alright, and g'day to all the post streamers if you made it this far. I didn't say hello at the start, how rude of me. Alright, peace out.